Hello and welcome! In today's video, I am finally going to be taking a look at an Advent style watercolor gift box that I bought back in 2023 and I never did anything with it. So we are going to pull that out, go through the colors, play with those colors, and maybe even use them to get a little bit caught up on World Watercolor Month. So this little Advent style gift box is from Denise Soden. She's a wildlife watercolorist. She has a really nice channel here on YouTube that she doesn't post on it very often anymore, but she does still post on it. And she's put together two Advent style gift boxes that are watercolor related. And this is the second one. You can see it's the 2023 version. And it came with this little tin and some 3M magnets. So there's heavy duty tape, the 3M tape on one side, a magnet on the other. And then it came with this little mystery box full of lovely sounding items. And a spoiler envelope here, which gives all the goods on everything that's inside. The info letter here already tells you that you get 12 quarter pans of professional watercolors, and they're from Daniel Smith and Schminke. And they were chosen to evoke the winter season and include a range of pigment properties, such as opacity, granulation, and pigment composition. I guess there are watercolor paper samples as well, except I must have taken those out already and put somewhere else because they are not in here, which is fine. Oh, and there was a greeting card and maybe a print as well, or a sticker, but I have had this a couple years now. So, shall we just pick one at random from here and see what we have? I think we should. Okay, first one. Aha, looks like a buff titanium to me. So this is an actual painted swatch on watercolor paper. Here's the quarter pan for the first one. I'll put it up next to this dark tin so you can see it. On the back is the paint name, the abbreviation for the brand, and the pigment. Obviously, and she mentions this in her letter, if you use the magnets on this, it's going to cover that information up. So you need to jot that down before you put the magnets on if you're going to use them here. I am debating whether I'm keeping this palette together as a special palette made just by her, or if I'm going to incorporate these colors into my other palettes. But I know I already have Daniel Smith Buff Titanium, so this is one that can stay with this palette, which means I will go ahead and use the 3M and the magnet to put it on here. And then I'm just going to jot the colors down here, although they are in this spoiler sheet, which I'm not going to show you yet, but there's the first one, Daniel Smith Buff Titanium. Okay, it has all that information. I just have to know which one I put in which order, which I can always watch this video back, which is super handy. But now that it's magnetized, I can stick it in there, and other than the paint falling out, because I haven't put water in there yet, that sticks to the bottom. It's not a very strong magnet though, so I don't anticipate that being able to withstand a fall or drop or anything. That's all right. So what I was kind of hoping to do is find a prompt for World Watercolor Month where I can use just the colors I open as I open them, or at least the selection of colors we start to get as I open them. And I have Radiant Espresso. Lock is drawn but not painted, but I have a specific color I want to use for that. That one's already going with another color. The one after Hat is Melt, and I could probably do Melt with Buff Titanium if I use like a fine liner and go over it with some black ink for lines, because you cannot get Buff Titanium dark. That just isn't gonna happen. This here is the reference photo I had kind of earmarked to use for the prompt Melt, and yeah, you can see that it's not gonna be perfect here to use just this color, but I can either line it like I talked about or come back with other colors later. So this is Daniel Smith's Buff Titanium. Pigment is PW6:1. It's a Series 1 paint, which means it's very affordable. Light fastness is 1, which is excellent. It is semi-transparent, non-staining, and it's granulating supposedly. Although it's such a light color, it's very hard to see the granulation if it is there. I do have this in tube form, and I have it in one of my mixed palettes, which I think I only have one mixed palette, but it's a useful color, pretty neutral. All right, let's see what the next color is. Here we are, just at random again. Ooh, a nice dark one, pretty. Look at that. It came out too because old. Get some water in there this time. This one is Neutral Tint by Daniel Smith, mixture of PBK6, PV19, and PB15. Get our magnet on it. Now I know I have Neutral Tint from Daniel Smith too, so I can keep this one in this palette if I want to. Well, Neutral Tint definitely gives us a dark if we want to add a dark onto this one. I don't know. Kind of like the idea of doing each one its own little thing, but I don't know if that'll actually work out. Tired is next. When you think of the words neutral tint, Daniel Smith just epitomizes that word. It is very neutral, yet it will darken any of the colors you are using without leaning them one way or another. So it's kind of the perfect neutral tint. It is also the neutral tint that is preferred by Ian Stewart, who is a very well-known watercolorist who does workshops all over the world. The pigment is PBK6, PV19, and PB15. Series 1s are more affordable, semi-transparent, low staining, and non-granulating. So I did use it for some of the shadows here in this buff titanium painting of the word melt, but I also use it just on its own in the next prompt here, which is tired. This is a little rental house that I bought a few years ago, and oh my goodness, did it ever look tired when I bought it. It was so sad. My husband considered it a complete teardown and didn't want anything to do with it, but I convinced him otherwise, and my dad, my oldest son, and I completely revamped this property into an amazing house. It's a really cool 700 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, huge kitchen and living room home that is just beautiful to this day. So using Daniel Smith's neutral tint, we are depicting the original form of this house, which was very tired. And it's kind of cool to see this in a journal too. I would actually like to kind of document the progress of this home and show you guys the final result at some point. Maybe do some more paintings with it because it's just the cutest little renovation that we've ever done, and we're all very proud of it. So I do have neutral tint in a half pan and then now in this quarter pan. So I can keep this particular neutral tint for another mixed palette, which will be great because, as I said, it is one of the best neutral tints out there in my opinion. Granted, I haven't used them all very thoroughly. I think Rembrandt probably has a pretty nice one as well, but I have used it. I like it, and it's a good one. So having this spare quarter pan, I think, will be quite useful. I would love to make a few extra mixed palettes, and this is a great color to have in there. If you guys have a favorite neutral tint, let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments, even if I don't always reply to all of the comments because I'm getting quite a few these days. I do read them all, I want you to know that. And it is valuable for me to hear what neutral tint you guys really like the most. Next color. Ooh, it's a granulating something or other. This one is Desert Green by Schmincke. It's a PR 108 and a PG 26. Intriguing combination, right? Our next prompt would be home. Oh, we should have done that one for home, except it's not my home. Well, we live in the mountains. I actually took a picture today on a bike ride. Look at that. It's so pretty. I hate the glare in here. Yeah, look at that. So we could paint that, right? That'd be good. I took all of these pictures from my front porch last night. Look at that. Look at that. That's so pretty. We need green to go with this prompt. I probably have a picture of the view from my house with green in it. Yep, there we go. But I kind of like the one I took today on the bike ride because I grew up seeing this mountain outside my window every morning. So it definitely feels like home. Doing a quick sketch of that little picture I took. Not too much, just enough to get some guidelines in so I can paint this more effectively. I don't know if I have desert green from Schminke at home. I'm not home right now. Anyway, I do have my I have my computer with me, which would have my watercolor database in it, except I don't think I have databased all my Schminke colors, so wouldn't do me much good to look in there because all those new ones I have not gotten to go through them yet, but that's okay, whatever. Let's see what this color looks like. I'm dying to see this. It's gonna be like perfect for this. Interesting. So it's very green here when it dries. Oh, it's coming out now. Like when I first put it on, oh my gosh, look at the color separation here. I know I interrupted myself, but look at that. Look at that, look at that. Okay, yeah, I can't get the glare out of the way. Okay, anyway, yeah, these magnets are sucky. Magnets, they suck. They are very weak magnets. You might want to put your own magnets in here. This is a fun way to do World Watercolor Month. Definitely makes it more interesting, more than just the same old paint with the paint you already got and just keep painting. And yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying, but that's okay. So this is a granulating color called Desert Green by Schminke. The pigments are PR108, PG26. It is a series 3, so more expensive. It has 5-star light fastness, which is considered excellent, semi-opaque, semi-staining, and granulating. And if you guys have used highly granulating paints before, you may know that they are usually pretty liftable, especially on paper like I'm using, which happens to be 100% cotton, but it is a little bit more liftable than some other cotton paper. It is the Lightwish Potentate sketchbook, which I am enjoying quite a bit. Even though it is not quite to the level of Arches or the Bauhaus Professional paper, it's still pretty enjoyable to work on. But anyway, yes, granulating paints are liftable. So it can sometimes be hard to get them really dark and layer them because they try to lift the paint that's already underneath. So patience is required. Well, that got interesting. Next. A very similar-ish color. Do you think it's Schminke as well? I do. But we'll find out. It is Volcano Brown by Schminke, PR108 and a PBK11. Oh yeah. I know I have this one in a little travel palette that was a gift from one of you, but I don't know if I have a tube of it or anything, so we're gonna have to check Schminke colors when I get home. For now, we'll put the magnet on it, stick it in there. What's our next prompt? Turtle. Can we paint a turtle with just Volcano Brown? I think we can, except that has to dry first. I found this cute little turtle. It's a picture from Etsy. And we're gonna do something similar to that. So, Volcano Brown happens to be one of my absolute most favorite colors now. It is by Schminke, as I mentioned. It's a PR108 mixed with a PBK11. So just those two pigments, but for some reason, it's amazing. It's a series 3 paint, so more expensive. Light fastness is 5 stars, which is excellent. It is semi-opaque, semi-staining, and highly granulating. That PBK11 and the PR108 are both granulating pigments, so this one is highly granulating. So the sketch took a little bit, but not too long, but the painting on this one took a very long time because, as you can see, I am wetting each section of the turtle and then dropping in the pigment. And by having water in these segments already, it really allows the granulation. And if there's going to be any separation of the color, having the water in there will allow that separation of the color as well. So it's just a really great way to use granulating paints like this, the super granulating, if you will. And the PBK11 and PR108 mixture definitely comes across more as a dark brown. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So if you are going to choose only one of Schmincke's super granulating colors, I would highly recommend this one. It's going to get dark enough when you want it to that it can be versatile for adding darks to your already existing paintings. It's going to be great for brickwork, rocks, sand, dirt, all kinds of things. And this turtle, as you can see here. For this little painting though, since we're working in segments here, this one actually took a very long time to complete. So I'm actually going to speed this up here by 2000%. It has been at 1000% for you, which hopefully I'm just cutting out some of it because of the flash of the camera when it's sped up this much. But I did want you to see some of the process, but I will pretty much skip to it at the end. I did end up putting some masking fluid on the eyes so that I could keep those really bright highlights and just paint over it with as dark of the volcano brown paint as I could. And I really love this one. This one turned out to be one of my absolute most favorite finished paintings in this sketchbook. And part of that is the color that I used, and part of that is just the cute subject of this adorable clip art turtle that I found on an Etsy picture. So thank you, Etsy. Well, that was fun. Let's figure out what the next color is gonna be. And if there's any drawings in here we can do with it. Ah. Oh, green. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Forest brown. Schmincke's forest brown. And look how green it is. It's very pretty. I don't know. That one needs the full right color. That one needs the right color. No. 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 We could do this chair in forest brown, I betcha. We could. Ooh, that one too. None of these others really fit for forest brown, but let's see what the other prompts are. Avocado. Could be avocado for sure. That actually might make a really great avocado skin. Okay. We will do avocado, but I don't have a sketch for that, so I have to do a sketch real quick. I find it pretty interesting that this one is called forest brown because it's really just a lot of green. It is PBR7, which is a brown, granted, PG26, and PY43. However, the only colors that really come out are the green and the yellow. It's a series 3, so again, more expensive because most of these are from the super granulating line. It has 5 stars light fastness rating, which is excellent, semi-transparent, semi-staining, and granulating. And in the avocado here on the right, you can really see that yellow separate. Unfortunately, I needed some of that yellow to separate in the meat of the avocado on the left one, and it didn't. I didn't get any of the yellow, in my opinion, to come out from this paint in the meat of the avocado here on the left. So I could probably go back in with an actual yellow and add some of that in, but I wanted to just keep to the theme of this painting using just this one color, and this is what we ended up with, and it's okay. Now this one is also a little hard to get really dark. I had to add several layers because granulating paints tend to lift. They don't like to get dark, so you can see me adding more layers here, but that was fun. It worked out well for that color. There's a tiny bit of yellow through it because it has that PY43 in it, so that's cool. All right, randomly pick the next color. Granulating brown is Schmincke's Desert Brown, PY159, PR108, and PBK11. Man, getting a lot of browns here. There's the Desert Brown. So a yellow, a red, and a black. I don't know. We could probably do the jacket with it, but that's not really... I think I'll wait and see if we get kind of a blue, because I drew that more as denim. Kitchen, I think, needs some more color. No, we could do that, but that'd be kind of... I kind of wanted dark colors for that. Yeah, the chair would work pretty okay. I guess we'll do the chair. I wanted some more colorful colors for the geode, so I guess we'll wait. It would probably work for this cookie scene really well. Yeah, let's do the cookie scene instead of the chair. I just have to wait for that to dry before I can open pages. So once that dried, I flipped to this page and I thought this color would work really good for this page and the skin tones on this little girl because it is kind of a lighter brown, and in my reference photo, she had pretty light colored skin, but yet there were still a lot of shadows on her skin, so it just seemed like the perfect color for this. I already mentioned the pigments, but just in case you missed them, I'll let you know them one more time. PY159, PR108, and PBK11. They are very subtle versions of those colors, however, because even when I am trying to get them super dark, it does take quite a bit of work, and I try and do that in the shadows around the box and in her hair a little bit later. And if I had waited for them to dry a little bit longer and done more layers, I probably could have got them even a little bit darker, but it's not that easy with these highly granulating paints. I could have added line work at the end, but I chose to keep it as is for now. All right, next color. It's another brown. I'm gonna be sad. Oh, this one came apart. All right, another green. Oh boy. Got lots of browns and greens. Daniel Smith's Sap Green, PB27, PY3, and PO48. So, it's a nice dark color. Daniel Smith has my favorite sap green, actually. But let's see if we have any drawings that will go good. So nothing before this. We could do a sap green chair, and then our person would be green. I guess we could make her buff titanium. We could use these other colors. We don't have to just limit it to one. Ooh, that would be okay in sap green. What other prompts are there? Well, let's just do our chair. So I keep calling this sap green, but this is actually the deep sap green, which are different pigments than the regular sap green. So this has the pigments PB27, PY3, and PO48. And Daniel Smith's regular sap green, which I also love, I already mentioned that, has PG7, PO48, and PY150. So very different. So again, deep sap green, PB27, PY3, PO48, regular sap green, PG7, PO48, and PY150. However, this is beautiful, and you can probably really see the PB27 in there because this does look more like a blue leaning green than their regular sap green. And I do not have the deep sap green in any of my Daniel Smith colors, so I will be adding this to my very large Daniel Smith watercolor palette. And I have a friend sending me some more Daniel Smith watercolors, which I'm so excited about because I'm going to have a very lovely complete collection, and perhaps this color will be in there. But I think we can see why Denise Soden has a love for this color and why she included it in this particular advent calendar. It is quite stunning. Next color. This is taking forever, but it's quite fun. Ah. Ooh, that's bright. That's pretty. What is it? Perylene Scarlet by Daniel Smith. PR 149. Hey, it's another 149. I don't see very many of those. 149s are a little more rare. Just looking at my picture of Rumble because we actually have kind of a red-orange here, and that is kind of perfect for Rumble. So I kind of want him to look like him though, so I may use it for him, but then maybe add in a little bit of my buff titanium. And what do my browns look like? Maybe a little of this volcano brown for his horns. Okay, we have a plan. I love this turtle. Makes me happy. All right, back to the Perylene Scarlet. Now, I have not really run into a PR 149 much until I used the Aquatone watercolors. So having another one show up again in my life this soon was kind of exciting. So again, PR 149, Perylene Scarlet. This is by Daniel Smith. Light fastness is only a 2, very good, so not the excellent. Semi-transparent, medium staining, and granulating. And I think you can see the granulation kind of coming out in that arm, even though I am dotting in some color to intentionally make some texture there. I think you can see that it's a granulating paint. So yes, I did add in some other colors here just to make this little guy complete. I had never heard of Rumble, the cartoon character, until I went to look up the word Rumble, and he's a cutie pie. So I was very happy to paint him. I don't know anything about the video. I didn't take the time to go watch it. Hopefully he's a good guy. And since he's the main character of an entire cartoon movie, I am assuming he's a good guy. He reminds me of course, the Monsters, Inc. characters in our American movies here. But I did add some browns, some of the neutral tint, and a little buff titanium to get all of his colors just right. Next color. Here we go. Dark blue. Oh, that's a blue. It's not dark, but it's a blue. And it looks very granulating. What is it? What is it? What is it? Deep Sea Blue by Schmincke, PB29, PG50, and PV16. Look how pretty this is. So there is a prompt called C. I don't have any sketch for it or anything yet, but I have a nice hard line here I'd like to get rid of. But I bet this Deep Sea Blue paint would probably be perfect for the prompt C. But I just need to figure out how I want to present it. So we will do that prompt. I am so in love with this color. Look how pretty it is. So Schmincke's Deep Sea Blue has the PB29, PG50, and PV16. Two of those three are definitely granulating colors. Light fastness is 4 stars, which is good. It is semi-transparent, non-staining, and granulating. So in the big sections of the water here, where I have added some water, you can see the granulation. And this paper is pretty textured too, so that's also bringing out some of the granulation effects, just letting that separation of those pigment particles kind of show to their best. And a lot of people think of water as hard to paint, but if you just take them as individual shapes, it's not too bad. It can be really fun, and you can see here, I think we have a successful sea painting. Pretty color. All right, next color. I'm so excited. What do we have? Ooh, that's deep. Daniel Smith's Naphthol Maroon, PR 171. Ooh, look how dark. Do we have any remaining drawings that this would work on? Group. It would probably work great on group, except I haven't finished drawing that because that's going to be hard. Ooh, this one. Yes, yes, we will do that one. Perform. So I kept saying Naphthol Maroon, but it's actually napamide maroon, which I will correct again at the end here. But it is another color by Daniel Smith, which is a PR 171. It's a Series 1 paint. And light fastness is excellent. It's semi-transparent, low staining, and non-granulating. The cool thing about this is that it reminds me a lot of the perylene scarlet, and not the perylene scarlet necessarily from Daniel Smith, because that one is super bright red, but perylene scarlet or perylene maroons, mostly perylene maroons from other brands. But this one does not have that drastic drying shift that the other brands have. So if you like this color and you like the way it's going down on the paper right now, it pretty much stays that color, which is great for a color like this. Again, they usually have such drying shifts, and this one pretty much stays as you see it, which is such a bonus. Very cool, very underrated color. I'm glad it was included in this advent calendar. So this was just a fun little image that popped up on Google when I typed in the word perform, and since I couldn't think of anything else, I went ahead and just drew something out that I saw on Google. Works sometimes. Next color. Ooh, this might be the deep blue I was looking for the cavern painting somewhere back here. Though I kind of want a super bright blue. I have to mix it with this one maybe. All right, let's see what this is. It is Daniel Smith's Mayan Dark Blue, PB82. All right. They tend to fall out of their pan, so I've just been putting some water in the bottom and sticking them back in. And yes, I think that for cavern to turn out appropriate like I want it to, I do need to use this deep sea blue as well. So I actually had a particular idea in mind for the way I wanted this painting to turn out. So I did go ahead and use the Daniel Smith neutral tint. However, the Mayan dark blue that I just opened is from Daniel Smith. It's a PB82 Series 3. Light fastness is only 2, so only very good. Semi-transparent, low staining, and non-granulating. So I am mixing the neutral tint with the Mayan dark blue for these darkest sections here. And then I'll use the Mayan dark blue all on its own for the next lighter color. And because I was trying to just stick to the colors that I've opened in this advent calendar, for the lightest blue, I do use the deep sea blue that we just used in the sea painting, but it's not quite the bright, vibrant blue that I wanted for this painting. So I think it would be fun to redo this painting with those super bright blues, kind of a turquoise blue that I had pictured in my mind. But since we were just using these colors, I actually think it turned out pretty okay. Look at that. The Mayan dark blue is that middle level color, and then right there is the deep sea blue. So that's a beautiful color. That Mayan dark blue is something else. And then you can see I did use masking fluid here. And here is what the masking fluid looks like when it's been removed. And I'm just softening some edges and calling it good. Next and last color. That is a bright and beautiful yellow. Kind of a deep yellow. Which yellow is this? Yellowy orange, I guess. Falls out as usual, so we will fix that immediately. This is Daniel Smith's quinacridone gold PO49. This is the original quinacridone gold PO49. Ooh, she must have had a small stock of this, and we are very lucky to have gotten this PO49 Quin Gold Daniel Smith. I don't know if we have any sketches left that this would be appropriate for, because Quin Gold is pretty limited. Howl, drift, weave, submerge, ornate, and tower. I don't know. I think we'll probably just have to combine it. Maybe we could finish this group one and make it one of the colors. Yep, we should probably do that. And can you believe we are on the very last color? I had such a fun idea in mind for this one. I wanted cats in a circle with the shapes, they're leaning against each other and with their tails creating hearts for the word group. And this is what I ended up coming up with. So I did use my heart template, as you probably saw, and then kind of just freehanded these kitties in. And then I wanted them to have the dark black outline. So I used a waterproof marker to go around that. And then I did add in that perylene scarlet from Daniel Smith for the hearts. And then you'll see this beautiful quinacridone gold, which is discontinued. You cannot get this PO49 pigment anymore. We are very fortunate that she chose to share what she had with us in these little quarter pans. Oh, I'm going to treasure it. I also have a half pan of PO49 from a very special friend who's sending me the other Daniel Smith paints. So I do have a very small stash of PO49, and look at it. It's gorgeous. It's very different than the other Quin Golds, in my opinion, that we see nowadays. It's more orange, it's very pure, it's very pretty. All right, let's go through the colors one by one. First color we opened was buff titanium, and the second one was neutral tint. And I did put a little neutral tint in this buff titanium painting. But the neutral tint painting is this one. This is Tired. This was Melt, because this house was tired until I renovated it. The third color was the Schminka Desert Green. The prompt was Home. Then we had Volcano Brown. I accidentally wrote down Desert Brown here, but it is Volcano Brown. Ta-da! My bad. One of my favorites, Turtle. Then we opened Forest Brown and did Avocado. And then we opened Desert Brown and did Stretch, followed by Daniel Smith's deep sap green, and we did chair, followed by Daniel Smith's perylene scarlet, where we used it for rumble. Then we opened Schmincke's deep sea blue and did the prompt C. Then we opened the napamide maroon. I think I kept calling it naphthol maroon, but it is actually a bigger word. Naphthamide maroon. Ta-da! Then we opened the Mayan dark blue, which is really only represented in the colors that look just like this one on this page, since I mixed it with some others. And the last color we opened was Daniel Smith's quinacridone gold. I did put a little bit of the perylene scarlet in with this one, obviously, for the word group. I love this one, it's so cute. And that is using mystery colors for World Watercolor Month, and I think that was such a fun way to do that. Definitely made it more interesting for me, and I hope it made it more interesting for you as well. Had to open it to my favorite page, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Oh, dropped it. Ooh, dropped it again.